So, today we're jumping into a really important book, Yuval Noah Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. Now, if you know Harari, you know he's famous for looking at our deep past and our distant future. But with this one, he brings his focus right back to now, to the chaos, the confusion, the moment we're all living in. He's trying to give us a map to make sense of a world that feels like it's completely spinning out of control. And he kicks things off with a really sharp observation. I want you to think back for a second. Back to the late 1990s. For a lot of us, the future felt, well, it felt kind of certain, didn't it? Like we were all following this clear script. The Cold War was over, globalization was the answer. So what on earth happened? How did we get from that feeling of certainty to, well, to this?
Well, to get it, Harari says, you have to understand that we humans don't really think in facts and figures. We think in stories. And for most of the 20th century, there were basically three huge stories competing for the world's attention: fascism, communism, and liberalism. Okay, so after World War II, fascism is out, gone. Then for about 50 years, it's a two-horse race, right? Until the Soviet Union collapses. And by 1998, there was only one story left standing. But now? Harari's big point is that today, we've got zero. We're in a total vacuum, and that is a very dangerous place to be.
So, what was this one triumphant story that seemed to have all the answers? You know it. It was the liberal story. And it wasn't just an idea. For a while there, it felt like the final destination for humanity, the owner's manual for how the entire planet should run.
And you can see why it was so compelling. The promises were huge. The formula seemed so simple. Just keep globalizing, keep liberalizing, and the result would be peace and prosperity for everyone. You just had to follow the steps, protect human rights, give everyone a vote, open up the markets, and let people, ideas, and stuff move freely around the world. It wasn't just a policy, it was like a global mantra. And the confidence in the story, it was absolute. Leaders truly believed that anyone who resisted was basically fighting a losing battle against the future itself. There's this famous quote from Bill Clinton in 1997, where he told the Chinese government that by refusing to liberalize, they were placing themselves on the wrong side of history. Just think about that certainty. That's how inevitable the ending of this story felt. But, that happy ending, it just never showed up. Instead of fading to black with credits rolling, the whole thing just shattered. Events like the 2008 financial crisis, the Brexit vote, the rise of populism all over the world, they left that confident old narrative in absolute tatters. And now here we are, with zero stories to guide us. Harari really pinpoints 2008 as the beginning of the end. That global financial crisis, it wasn't just an economic hiccup. It was the shockwave that started this massive, widespread disillusionment. It was the moment that millions of people really started to lose faith in the elites and that grand promise of prosperity for all. And the result of that? Well, it was this profound sense of shock and just total disorientation, especially for the people who had championed that story for decades. Because, as Harari points out, being left without any story is just terrifying. Suddenly nothing makes sense anymore. It's like the operating system for the entire world just blue-screened and crashed. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. There's a crucial twist. Right at the moment our political compass was breaking, there was this other, much bigger force building up steam in the background, a massive tech revolution that most of the political debates were completely ignoring. Think about it this way. For pretty much all of human history, we've been focused on one big project, getting control of the world outside of us. Building dams, domesticating animals, moving mountains, all that stuff. But that is all changing. The revolution's happening right now. They're giving us the power to control the world inside of us. We're actually learning to engineer bodies, to engineer brains, to engineer minds. And this isn't just another cool invention. This is a fundamental turning point in the history of life on Earth. This incredible power comes from what Harari calls the twin revolutions. So on one side, you have infotech, that's big data, super powerful algorithms, AI. And on the other side, you've got biotech, our exploding ability to understand the biology and chemistry that makes us tick. But the real game changer? It's when you merge the two. That's when you get something totally new, the power to literally hack human beings. So, what's the most immediate threat from all this new power? It's probably not what you see in the sci-fi movies, like a robot uprising. According to Harari, the biggest risk is something way quieter, but honestly, maybe even more terrifying. It's not that technology is going to exploit us, but that it's just going to make us irrelevant. This is why the AI revolution is so different from the Industrial Revolution. See, back then, machines competed with our physical skills, our muscles. A farmer whose job got automated could go learn a new skill and work in a factory. But today's AI? It's competing with our cognitive abilities, things like learning, analyzing, communicating, even understanding human emotion. So when AI can do all that, where do humans go? There's no obvious next step.
And here's the thing. AI has two huge advantages that we humans just can't compete with: connectivity and updatability. I mean, think about a fleet of self-driving cars. They can all be linked together in one single network. If one car makes a mistake, they all learn from it instantly. You can't just send out a software patch to a million human taxi drivers, right? This ability to work as one integrated network is what makes AI such a revolutionary force.
All of this creates a huge psychological shift. In the 20th century, the big fear among the masses was exploitation. The working class was essential to the economy, and they fought to turn that power into political rights. But today, Harari argues, the big fear is irrelevance. People are worried that they're losing their economic value altogether. Harari uses this powerful and frankly pretty unsettling metaphor. He talks about horses in the 19th century. When cars and tractors came along, the horses weren't exploited more. They just became obsolete. They were pushed completely out of the economy. They became, for economic purposes, useless. And the chilling question Harari forces us to confront is whether a huge chunk of humanity is now in the exact same position as those horses were back then. And that is the absolute heart of the problem. Fighting against exploitation, well, that's a struggle we understand. You know you're valuable and you fight for your share. But as Harari points out, it is much, much harder to struggle against irrelevance. And that leaves us with maybe the most profound and terrifying question of our entire century. What do we do when we're no longer needed?